SVG-TV news headlines sponsored in part by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Get the best in TV entertainment with 139 channels, 26 in HD, and HBO included. Plus get 80 local Flow landline minutes to enjoy on evenings and weekends. All for $225 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
In the headlines, UWI Vice Chancellor says SVG's seat on the UN Security Council places the country in a leading position to lobby on a range of global issues. Barbados Prime Minister wants more action on regional integration. Scientists discover first new HIV strain in nearly 2 decades. And in sports, Windies women suffer a 6-wicket thrashing in final one-day international against India to extend a 2-year winless streak. These and other stories coming up in SVG-TV's Evening News and Sports.
That was the news headline sponsored in part by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Get the best in TV entertainment with 139 channels, 26 in HD, and HBO included. Plus get 80 local Flow landline minutes to enjoy on evenings and weekends. All for $225 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Good evening and welcome to the SVG-TV Evening News and Sports for Thursday, November 7th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. With a seat on the UN Security Council, SVG will be in a great position to take a leading role to lobby on behalf of Caribbean countries and other countries worldwide on a range of issues which affect them. So says UWI Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Sir Hilary Beckles, as he spoke at a forum today under the theme Small States in Global Governance, discussing SVG's historic appointment to the UN Security Council earlier this year. Delivering remarks which were broadcast in member states through various media platforms, the Vice Chancellor said the UN Security Council is an institution with the potential to craft a new development paradigm for the 21st century in terms of economic relations of the world, the political narrative on equality and infrastructure of democracy. Sir Hilary said SVG's achievement doesn't come as a surprise to him, given the country's historical past in terms of its centrality in global affairs, its fight against colonization, genocide, and slavery. He said SVG's appointment to the Council is indeed a historic one and can now lead the way in crafting a new development paradigm.
Was at the center of the pushback against colonization, genocide, slavery. And St. Vincent has a special and peculiar DNA within global diplomacy. And from there, moving through with the Garifuna people to establish the politics of resilience in the face of global aggression. So it has a unique and peculiar history. And this is the history that Prime Minister Gonzalez has brought forward into the 21st century to suggest that there must be a dignified place for small nations, for resilient nations, and for the voice of intellect. Because, you know, oftentimes we conflate small spaces with small intellect. But while history shows on the contrary, it is the other way around. Small nations are distinguishing themselves and have always done so with the force of their intellectual power and the courage to engage the world. So this is a significant moment at multiple levels.
The UWI Vice Chancellor said SVG's achievement also presents an opportunity for regional countries and others worldwide to ensure justice for humanity in the future.
The triumph of Caribbean leadership and in the diplomacy of Prime Minister Gonzalez. But the significance resides in the fact that we are now well positioned to argue and to win support on multiple conversations to shape what is going to be a 21st century development paradigm for the world. And I wish to congratulate the Prime Minister Gonzalez, not only for the skill and the persistence of his global diplomacy, but also too because of it recognizes the power of the Caribbean courage when mobilized to look into the future and to be a part of the major decision making. So this is very significant and this is very historic. And I wish to invite everyone in the Caribbean, in the world, to let us have a robust discourse about 21st century development paradigms at multiple levels. And let us see what role small nations can play in dialogue with larger nations, more developed economic structures to create justice for humanity going into this 21st century. Thank you very much.
Also delivering remarks at today's forum was Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who said issues relating to climate change and its impact on security and upholding international law are two of the major issues which SVG is looking forward to lobby on as it takes up its seat on the Council in January 2020. Highlighting the issue of international law, PM Gonsalves said there is a class of international leaders who wish to make unilateral decisions which impact negatively on small island states and looks forward to championing the cause of these states.
Exercise hegemony across the whole world. And wants to intervene in every way, which way they want to, and to where they want to weaponize trade and weaponize the banking system, and where they want to have intervention here and there, military and otherwise. I mean, this is entirely unacceptable, and they want to do so without going through multilateral agencies like the United Nations, and they want to act in a hegemonic, unilateralist way. That is entirely unacceptable, because that is the law of the jungle. And we have to uphold the principles of international law in the same way that weak persons in Jamaica, disadvantaged persons in St. Vincent and elsewhere, depend on their own law, their own domestic law to protect them. In the same way, we rely on international law and the precepts undergirding international law to protect us.
Dean of the Division of Technical Vocational Education of the SVG Community College, Osborne Bowens, said the education system needs to do more for those who have dropped out of the formal school system. Bowens was at the time addressing in a graduation ceremony yesterday of the 2019 Youth Employability Skills Training Program. He said while the current education system continues to have some success, a few students have fallen between the cracks and that more must be done to help these persons gain a skill.
The current education revolution as is does perform a function in terms of moving people to a place where they finish an education and they get some sort of job, they get employed. But those who are unable to finish and those who are unable to complete an education are at a significant disadvantage. And here is where the system, the education system, must reinvent itself to be able to position these young people so that they can take up some sort of employment, having missed out on the traditional education system. I understand that the current education system, now we are moving skills into the secondary schools, very good, and a very good initiative, but more has to be done to capture the many young people who have left the system already and are unable to find themselves some sort of employment. So that's a challenge, and that's one that we must address and continue to address. And the Mustic Charitable Foundation, again, is helping to address that particular situation.
Electrical installation, refrigeration, and masonry are vocational fields which are dominated by males. However, the Minister of National Mobilization said gender inclusion is the watchword and encouraged females to get involved in these fields as well.
We need electricians, we need masons and carpenters. And young women as well have to get involved in these areas. There was once a young lady here, but she unfortunately died in an accident overseas. Was an excellent mason. You see her climbing the walls and plastering and putting up blocks. Excellent female mason. I'm saying this to say to you, that's it. We have to have equal opportunities, because we are speaking about inclusiveness and equality among gender.
The Youth Employability Skills Training Program has been funded for the second year by the Mustique Charitable Foundation, which has so far invested over $200,000 in the programs, which consist of training, courses, and bursaries. Children across the Eastern Caribbean continue to benefit from the medical missions conducted by the World Pediatric Project here in SVG. This week, a team of 7 orthopedic surgeons conducted a clinic where 24 children were seen, with 8 children identified as needing surgical intervention. Those selected for surgery include 5 children from St. Lucia and 1 from Antigua and 1 from Dominica. Lead surgeon Dr. Robert Tutton said the children selected were all treated with care, and he is happy that there were no complications with the surgical procedures.
All of the kids have had significant spinal curvature that has, required surgery. So every surgery was a significant surgery. We've done 7 cases so far. We have 1 more to go, and it's been always a pleasure to work with Drs. Dada, Willis, Ellis, and Santiago here. No complications. Everyone's doing well. The kids are all very brave, and the families are very kind, and everyone's doing well.
This is not the first medical mission for Dr. Tutton, who stressed the importance of doing follow-up checkups, particularly for children diagnosed with spinal curvature.
They need to, keep their regular appointments with their pediatrician, and a good pediatrician is going to screen for scoliosis just like they would screen for a heart problem or a breathing issue or something like that. So I think all the kids need to keep their pediatric appointments so they get their shots and their regular health care. But the scoliosis is something that's picked up usually routinely and followed, and if the cases get severe, then we are here to help.
On November 30th, 2019, the WPP, with the support of the BFIT movement SVG, will host the event dubbed 5K Sweat to Heal a Child. The drive is to raise funds for the Every Child Counts campaign in order to continue supporting community-based growth in SVG and the Eastern Caribbean, and to expand its reach and ability to assist more children, not just locally, but regionally. As of December 1st, 2019, a total ban will be placed on parrotfish harvesting. The parrotfish eats algae and dead coral and spends up to 90% of its day nibbling. The excretion of a single parrotfish can produce up to 700 pounds of sand each year. Minister of Fisheries Saboto Caesar said the country's achievements in protecting turtles, preventing the illegal trade of the Union Island gecko, the repatriation of 3 of our national birds, and soon a ban on the harvesting of the parrotfish is an indication that SVG is truly Mother Nature's paradise. Even though shark fin fishing is not practiced in SVG, a legal framework will be put in place to outlaw this method of fishing here, in support of the global conservation efforts promoted by the United Nations. Shark fin fishing is the custom in some countries where thousands of sharks are caught, the fins are removed, and the balance of the shark's body is thrown back into the sea. This threatens the global shark population and is seen as an unsustainable use of an important marine resource. The Sexual Offences Unit of the RSVG Police Force celebrates its first anniversary with 90 arrests and 2 convictions. This and other local stories coming up when we return after these messages. Stay with us.
Local news sponsored in part by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Get the best in TV entertainment with 139 channels, 26 in HD and HBO included. Plus get 80 local Flow landline minutes to enjoy on evenings and weekends. All for $225 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
C-Star Limited is now located on the third floor of the First St. Vincent Bank building. They have extended their range of products and furniture, including patio sets, closets, shoe casing, beds and mattresses, TV cabinets, and kitchen cupboards, just to name a few of their luxurious pieces, all at unbelievable prices. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out upstairs the First St. Vincent Bank building. And don't forget, they still have the best in windows, doors, burglar bars, rails, and vanities. C-Star Limited, where quality and style is our motto.
A funeral service should be one that you can be proud of, one that leaves lasting memories of your loved ones. And that's where you need the New Haven Funeral Home. We are proud of the quality and class we have brought to the industry. We are proud for having trained the very first certified embalmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are proud of leading the way in terms of live streaming of funerals online so that your family members overseas could also be part of the celebration of life. We are constantly improving our services. We are driven by customer satisfaction, and we are proud of all that we do.
New Haven Funeral Home.
Breaking news! The greatest tile sale in the history of St. Vincent is back. With more, here's Thin Set Rowdy Face.
Thanks, Juan. Yes, free tiles for Christmas is back at Island Style Interiors, and there's real excitement in the air. Get this, buy 100 tiles at the regular price and get up to the next 25 tiles absolutely free.
Wow, that is a great deal.
Sure is, Juan. My wife's making me buy tiles right now before they sell out.
Vincent? Oh well, this is Juan Cool Guy signing off and heading to Island Style in Arnos Vale for free tiles! Wait for me! Yay!
It's stylelicious here at Quartz Optical. The best in style and designs for your perfect frame. Converse, Ray-Bans, Kate Spade, Prada, and lots more. Buy any frames and lenses and get a chance to win $2,000 cash. Get it now and pay nothing for 60 days with ready finance. Only at Quartz Optical, the largest and fastest growing optical chain in the Caribbean. Visit our website at www.optical.com to book your appointment today. Offer ends November 24th, 2019.
Welcome back. In its first year of operation, the Sexual Offences Unit of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force is reporting that it has investigated a total of 176 sexual assaults, of which 90 arrests were made and 2 completed trials, which have resulted in convictions and custodial sentences in both cases. Station Sergeant Desiree Days, who is in charge of the unit, told SVG-TV News during a telephone interview that it is an accomplishment for the unit, which was tasked to deal with sexual abuse cases.
I am happy to say that for those trials, we got convictions in the sense of custodial sentences for those offenders. So it is evident that we are making headway and we are trying to fulfill the mandate that was tasked on us by the Commissioner of Police. I have a dedicated staff of 8 persons, and we are doing our best to deplete the amount of sexual offences in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. To get the victims to speak up, and not just the victims. We want the general public to speak up also, because the Children Care and Adoption Act of 2010 dictates mandatory reporting for all cases of assault against children. So even the general public has a responsibility.
Despite the success, Sergeant Days said they continue to battle with uncooperative parents and guardians.
It has been a challenging year. Some of the challenges which we have experienced are with parents who are not very cooperative. When that happens, we work with child protection officers within the social welfare department. We have also encountered victims who have refused to go forward with cases because they are afraid of the stigma which is attached to sexual assault, of being judged by the public, and more so being re-victimized. So we have some special provisions in place for that. For example, a victim does not even have to walk into a police station to report a matter. They can call us at 45-34599, and they can report the matter to us, and we would make arrangements to meet them somewhere where they are comfortable, and then we will move from there.
Community outreach activities are in the pipeline for the unit, and Sergeant Days is appealing to persons to make reports and speak up against sexual abuse, noting that failing to do so in itself is an offense.
Care and Adoption Act of 2010 dictates mandatory reporting for all cases of assault against children. So for parents who know that your child is being molested or assaulted, who have not reported the matter, it is a criminal offense, and you can be fined on conviction in the first instance up to $5,000 or in prison for 3 months.
The Sexual Offences Unit is carrying out a number of activities in observance of its first-year anniversary under the theme, See Something, Say Something, Stop All Sexual Abuse. The World Needs a Father is a global movement that is encouraging men to take their roles and responsibilities as fathers seriously to reduce some of the broken young men and women in today's society. With this in mind, Project Men 2020, in collaboration with the World Needs a Father movement, will host a Trainer of Trainers seminar on the essentials of fathering as part of celebrations leading up to International Men's Day on November 19th. In an interview with SVG-TV News, Professor Courtney Richards of the World Needs a Father movement said that men have neglected their roles, which have helped to create dysfunctional homes not only in SVG, but globally.
Men. Isn't that sad that our young men, 15 to 25, those are the people who should be going to university, getting married, starting families, and instead they're in prison, they're in jail. 15 to 25-year-olds make up over 50% of the prison population. Boys are more likely to drop out of school who don't have their fathers in their lives. Boys and girls are more likely to become teenage fathers and mothers if they don't have their fathers in their lives. Boys do not do as well in school as against those who have their fathers in their lives. Mathematics, you do better in mathematics. Both boys and girls do better in mathematics and the sciences if they have their father involved in their lives. And why is that so? The research says because the greatest quality to learn mathematics, which is challenging for most of our children, is patience. You have to be patient. You have to work at it day in, day out. And when you have your father in your life putting his hand on your shoulder, he may not even know what you're doing, but at least he reassures you and affirms the child, the boy or the girl, and says, you can do it.
Professor Richards, who is a mentor for hundreds of young men and women around the world, emphasized the need to train men to become trainers in SVG so they too can start a movement that would impact positively on their colleagues.
It's not to beat up on men, it's to say, we're here to help you. We're not here to beat up men, we're here to say, men, we want to help you. We want to put some tool in your hand. We want to mentor you. We want to help you be a better man, be a better father. So we look at those statistics and realize, both boys and girls are suffering. The girls have babies, teenage babies. They don't trust men. They don't believe that. They tell me. In the Caribbean, I travel from island to island. Men are dogs. They're all the same. And I'm like, I'm not a dog. And I know a lot who are not dogs, So don't buy into that stereotype. But they said, well, here's my story. And you can understand with great sympathy if you're used and you end up with 5 children with different fathers. That's tough to overcome. And so it starts with the fathers.
Event coordinator of the upcoming training seminar, Alex Altidore, said they are looking to train 25 men who would be able to pass on what they learned to other men about the essentials of fathering.
Surprise you that there are a lot of young men, and there are even a lot of big men who are crying in the 50s, in the 60s. I want my daddy. They never had a daddy in their lives. I heard of a guy who killed his daddy, ended up in prison. While in prison, the warden heard him crying for the same daddy he killed.
Wow.
There is a need. We were wired to have daddies. That's a need that we have, a great need. And when that need is not met, it destroys us.
Yeah.
It creates a deficiency in our lives. And that is why we have a lot of insecure young ladies and a lot of angry youths, young men.
Young men, yeah.
And they are displaying that anger in multiple ways, many ways, different.
The training seminar, which is geared to all interested men, involved involved in working with men and male-focused groups and organizations, will be held at the VinSafe Child Care Center, commencing on Tuesday, November 12th, and going until Saturday, November 16th. Barbados Prime Minister wants more action on regional integration. This from the region when we return. Stay tuned.
That was a local news segment.
The Everready Funeral Home at French's is your friend in times of grief. With over 40 years' experience, they are prepared to take care of all your funeral arrangements. Embalming, lowering device service, grave mattresses, carpeting, vaults, tombs and wreaths. Arrangements for television obituaries. Cremation is available upon request. Everready Funeral Home offers the finest in caskets and coffins, local and imported. So, in your time of need, call Everready Funeral Home at any time. 456-1494. Everready Funeral Home, offering service above self.
Juicy, juicy, drink today. Juicy, juicy, same great taste. Juicy, juicy, the original drink. It's a Vinci thing. Get your red and banana, pineapple, juicy cola, orange or apple. Juicy for you and for your neighbor. It's a Vinci thing. Enjoy it juicy, the original Vinci thing. Juicy. Search for Life is back again. Your favorite game. Win house and land. SUV plus 50 grand. 50 and 25 grand. Second and third prize in your hand. Yeah. So play as much as you can. Monthly prizes to be won. Set for life. A brand new house. Set for life. A brand new car. Set for life. $10 for a bet. Live your life with no regrets. Set for life. Did your day done set? Set for life. December 28th. Set for life. Check the lotto machine. Get set for 2019. Set for life. Live all of your dreams. Be a winner. Turn your own keys. Set for life.
Quality products, quality care, low prices, great customer service, all at QCare Pharmacy. QCare leads the way, providing all your pharmaceutical needs, a variety of personal care products, and so much more. Located on Halifax Street. Telephone number 451-2690. QCare Pharmacy, where the Q stands for quality.
Again, the countdown has begun, and time is running out. Shop at Quartz today and make this season even more epic with the latest in electronics, appliances, stylish furniture, and so much more. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
The regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
Massey Stores Pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Welcome back. In our news from the region, we hear that Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley appeared to reach a new peak of frustration with the pace of CARICOM integration today, declaring that it has crawled to the point where her fellow CARICOM leaders are gripped by a crisis of will, and that she has grown tired of giving speeches pointing the way forward for the 46-year-old bloc.
What is required is a will to ensure that we have a floor within the region such that the worst aspects of xenophobia can be tamed and we can get on with the business of managing migration in the best tradition of a country like Canada that has made sure that it has been able to transition in spite of the lack of population through a consistent program of managed migration. Those heads who stood before us, agreeing to bring together as one a community of sovereign nations, did so with the clear understanding that the constraints of size would forever act as an inhibitor to our capacity for growth. But the bottom line is that what has stood in the way is simply the will.
A war of words is developing between the Jamaica Police Federation and the Independent Commission of Investigation, INDECOM. INDECOM is hitting back at suggestions from the Federation that it is attempting to erode the morale of the police. We hear more in this TVJ News report.
Recent data show a decrease in reports of police misconduct, but INDECOM boss Terrence Williams did not mince words in describing what he suggested is a chronic problem in the JCF.
Of all the public institutions in Jamaica, I struggle to find any which has serious cultural disciplinary problems like the police force has.
He was responding to criticisms by the Police Federation of the recommendations outlined in INDECOM's second quarterly report. One of them is that officers facing criminal charges, including murder, should not continue their daily operation with force-issued weapons. Mr. Williams went a step further, outlining other disciplinary measures.
They can fail to rehire you when you come, your contract is over. Police can say that you're not likely to be a proper constable and dismiss you. The police can take you off frontline duty and not give you a firearm. There are all these range of things. But we see in Jamaica things done in the JCF which should not be done in any other police force.
He stressed offending officers must be held accountable.
I think what is perhaps saves the JCF in this regard that Jamaican people don't sue enough, you know, and perhaps cynically what also happens is that when they do sue, the police are not surcharged. So it is us, the taxpayer, who ends up paying the bill for these clear acts of negligence which come from command failures.
Mr. Williams is also suggesting that indiscipline in the JCF is an impediment to crime-fighting efforts.
Scientists discover a first new strain of HIV in nearly 2 decades. We have this from the international scene when we come back.
Regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
Massey Stores Pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores, Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Get ready for the 2019 VINLEC National Science and Technology Fair, November 11th to 15th, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. daily, under the theme, Turning Problems into Opportunities Using Scientific Strategies. Registration is now open and closes on November 1st, 2019. For more information, see the Science Fair Handbook at svgcdu.org. Don't miss your chance to win great prizes. It's the 2019 VINLEC National Science and Technology Fair. See you there.
26 retail shops and restaurants open now for your convenience. At the cruise ship terminal. At the cruise ship terminal. It's a great venue to rent for functions. Secure parking, great ambiance. At the cruise ship terminal. At the cruise ship terminal.
Convenient parking at the Kingstown Cruise Ship Terminal and the Geese Compound. The Kingstown Cruise Ship Terminal has 26 retail shops and restaurants with a variety of food offerings. A great secure venue for your function with a great ambience. Also, we offer lock storage service. The Cruise Ship Terminal. Convenience for you.
At the cruise ship terminal. The cruise ship terminal.
It's stylelicious here at Quartz Optical. The best in style and designs for your perfect frame. Converse, Ray-Bans, Kate Spade, Prada, and lots more. Buy any frames and lenses and get a chance to win $2,000 cash. Get it now and pay nothing for 60 days with ready finance. Only at Quartz Optical, the largest and fastest growing optical chain in the Caribbean. Visit our website at www.optical.com to book your appointment today. Offer ends November 24th, 2019.
SVG-TV International News segment sponsored in part by Carez Distribution Limited.
For over 60 years, we have sought only the best beans grown in the lush hills of the Andean mountains of Colombia. Cold Cafe. We carefully select only the very best beans and roast them to delicious perfection by our experienced roast masters. Cold Cafe. Cold Cafe treats you to one of the finest coffees in the world, available in classic and decaffeinated. A rich flavor and aroma that can only come from 100% Colombian coffee. Cold Cafe. Indulge yourself in our delicious cappuccinos available in classic mocha and French vanilla. Enjoy them hot to warm your soul or cool to cool you down. Either way, they are incredibly satisfying. So go ahead, enjoy Cold Cafe and treat yourself.
On the international scene, for the first time in 19 years, a team of scientists has detected a new strain of HIV. The strain is part of the Group M version of HIV-1, the same family of virus subtypes blamed for the global HIV pandemic, according to Abbott Laboratories, which conducted the research along with the University of Missouri in Kansas City. The findings were published on Wednesday in the Journal of Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndromes.
It doesn't really pose a new threat at all. It's interesting because they were able to find this, but this particular subtype now is part of a larger group of HIV viruses. I'll show you this graphic quickly here. You know, people think of HIV as one disease. It's actually several groups and then several types, and now a additional subtype up in the upper left, right corner there. That's the L subtype. But it's tested. The current testing will find it, so it's not a threat in that way. And the current treatment will treat it.
Oh, is that right? So
yeah.
The preventative drugs that are on the market right now do treat this new strain.
So, you know, with the preventative drugs specifically, what those are doing is trying to decrease the risk of transmission. Okay, so someone who does, you know, is not HIV positive does not become HIV positive. Those have been very effective, and you know, I think a significant effort in terms of curbing AIDS. In fact, if you take a look at the numbers specifically with regard to PrEP drugs, as they're called, you're having, I think, 500% more people are taking it. But look at what it does. It reduces by about 99% when taken daily the risk of someone getting HIV through sex. So it's a really good preventative. And there are vaccine trials that are going on around the world as well, which we're going to have some results on in the next few years.
One of the most.
As two countries grieve the ambush killings of 6 children and their mothers, Mexico's president has set up a special commission to find the killer or killers. More than 200 shell casings were found at the scene of Monday's attack. Secretary of Security Alfonso Durazo said gun caps at the scene came from a weapon made in the U.S. But the discoveries haven't gotten officials any closer to arresting whoever killed 3 mothers and 6 of their children in the grisly attack. We hear more in this report.
At the checkpoints, soldiers covered their faces. Guns and armor aside, better to stay anonymous in such a violent place. Bienvenidos a Bavispe, the town closest to where 9 Americans were slaughtered on Monday.
So this place is so locked down right now that we're being given a military escort to the area where at least one of the shootings happened.
The massacre started here.
This is the exact spot where Renita Miller and 4 of her kids, ages 12, 10, and 2 8-month-old twins, were killed. They were ambushed by armed gunmen, shot, and their vehicle lit on fire. This is what remains.
Up the road a few minutes later, 2 more cars were ambushed. 2 mothers and 2 children also killed by gunfire. Another 7 kids escaped. They'd all left just minutes before from Renita's home, just a few blocks away. They were part of a community of hundreds of Americans, largely Mormon, who have lived here for a long time. Julian LeBaron found one of the bodies.
And then she was just laying on the ground when we came on her, and I could tell that, I could tell from the blood stains that they aimed for her heart.
The family wants to know who would shoot and kill women and children and then light their bodies on fire. We saw Mexican investigators at the scene on Wednesday. Might not look like it, but this area can be one of the most dangerous drug trafficking routes in the entire world. The U.S. is 100 miles that way, and drug cartels have been fighting over this land for a long time. And the government says that could be the reason why the people on this road were killed. They say that maybe one cartel mistook that caravan for another, but increasingly so, the family of the victims isn't buying it. They think the families were specifically targeted by drug cartels, though they don't know why. This community has had run-ins with gangs before, but say this came out of nowhere.
We haven't been threatened, at least not in any way to suppose that women and children would be murdered.
Mexican President López Obrador campaigned on the need to reduce crime in this country, though Mexico's murder rate now stands roughly 6 times higher than that of the United States. The president insists his strategy of poverty reduction will eventually ease drug violence, but some are losing patience.
Well, that's the news for this evening. Sports is just ahead, right after we take a look at tonight's local weather forecast.
SVG-TV International News segment was sponsored in part by Caress Distribution Limited.
Let's go! Turn up the fun!
With Chocolisto and its great flavor, enriched with vitamins and minerals that help you grow.
Chocolisto makes you big and strong.
The weather report sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Bebin, the diaper made with the very best for the very best. Keeps up with them on the go. With a wetness indicator, Bebin keeps your child dry and happy. For quality and affordability, choose Bebin every time.
Bebin Premium.
Present weather conditions this evening are partly cloudy, breezy, and hazy. Winds are blowing east-northeast at 22 kilometers per hour. The temperature 28 degrees Celsius and relative humidity 75%. Barometric pressure 1010.5 millibars. Rainfall over the last 24 hours measured 3.3 millimeters. The maximum temperature today was 29.7 degrees Celsius. The minimum temperature 24.5. Sunset today was at 5:36 and sunrise tomorrow morning will be at 6 a.m. The forecast for tonight, fair to partly cloudy, slightly hazy and breezy with a few showers. Brisk winds are blowing across the island according to the synopsis.
The weather report was sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Bebin, the diaper made with the very best for the very best. Keeps up with them on the go. With a wetness indicator, Bebin keeps your child dry and happy. For quality and affordability, choose Bebin every time.
Bebin Premium.
A funeral is considered as the last goodbye. The memories are for you, the family, and loved ones. Joseph the Silva Senior Memorial Funeral Home sympathizes and understands the grieving process. They go the extra mile, offering counseling, private funeral, chapel service, night viewing, and church service, along with other services expected at a professional funeral home. Visit the office at Mesopotamia. A warm, modern, and customer-friendly environment awaits you. Joseph the Silva Senior Memorial Funeral Home, offering affordability in time of need. We are here. We care.
Welcome to the evening sports. We hear that not even the return of all-rounder Hayley Matthews and another half-century from captain Stephanie Taylor could spark the West Indies women as they suffered a 6-wicket thrashing in the final one-day international against India in Antigua yesterday to concede the 3-match series 2-1. Batting first at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium, the hosts could only muster 194 all-out off their 50 overs, with Taylor stroking 79, Stacey Ann King getting 38, and Matthews chipping in with 26. In reply, the Indians made light work of the target, with openers Smriti Mandana with 74 and Jemima Rodriguez with 69 slamming up-tempo half-centuries to get their side over the line in the 43rd over. Matthews snatched 3 for 27 to put a dent in an otherwise polished performance from the visitors, but West Indies found it difficult to rebound after being hurt by an opening stand of 141. West Indies have now lost 12 of their last 17 ODIs and have not won a series since they beat Sri Lanka in the Caribbean 2 years ago. They lie 7th on 13 points in the 8-team ICC Championship, which serves as a qualifier for the 2021 ICC World Cup. A career-best 100 from Devon Thomas, followed by a destructive spell from West Indies off-spinner Raheem Cornwall, propelled hosts Leeward Island Hurricanes to a 198-run win over defending champions Combined Campuses and Colleges Marooners in the Colonial Medical Insurance Super 50 Cup on Wednesday. Thomas cracked 10 fours and 1 6 in a polished 105 from 94 balls to post the first 100 of this year's Super 50 Cup in the tournament opener, a day-night Group A contest at Warner Park. Cornwall then grabbed 4 for 21 from 5.3 overs, and hometown pacer Shino Berridge supported with 3 for 20 from 8 overs to lead the demolition of the Marooners batting for 94 in 31.3 overs. The result gave the Hurricanes 4 points and their second largest victory in West Indies' Super 50 Cup history. In basketball, James Harden guided the Houston Rockets past the struggling Golden State Warriors while the Los Angeles Clippers were beaten in the NBA on Wednesday night. Harden scored 36 points and provided 13 assists in the Rockets' 129-112 victory over the Warriors at the Toyota Center. Houston improved to 5-3 to begin the season, while the injury-hit Warriors slipped to 2-6. Meanwhile, Kawhi Leonard was rested as the Clippers were handed a 129-124 loss by the Milwaukee Bucks. Evening Sports continues after this. Stay tuned.
My sister's pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stars Pharmacy. Massey Stars Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores, Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
The countdown has begun, and time is running out. Shop at Quartz today and make this season even more epic with the latest in electronics, appliances, stylish furniture, and so much more. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Welcome back. St. Lucia has strengthened its team for this year's OECS Swimming Championships here this weekend by adding swimmers Adam Stromberg, Nicholas McLennan, and Luke Zephyr to its squad. Stromberg, who attends the University of Lethbridge in Alberta, Canada, will compete in the freestyle and breaststroke events. McLennan's strongest event is the backstroke, while Zephyr graduated from the Plymouth Leaner College in England with a degree in sports development and management. The 29th OECS Swimming Championships takes place at the Shrewsbury Aquatic Centre in Rathamill from tomorrow until Sunday. Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Kitts, Nevis, St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines will compete in the championship being held in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the second time. In Richland Park, Hill 16 swamped Beefy's Convenient Shop Highlanders 17-1 in Group A of the Hyroon KCCU Digicel Richland Park 9-a-side Football Championship at the Richland Park Oval yesterday afternoon. The informed Diomaji Samuel scored 9 goals for Hill 16. Joshua Lucas converted 4. Emmanuel Ogbonyana had 2, and there was 1 goal each from Zimran Thomas and Curtis Oliver, while Hezron Brown, that should be Hens Roy Brown, netted for Beefy's Convenience Shop Highlanders. And Spring Village hammered Bayaboo 7-1 in Group A of the Hyroon National Lotteries Authority Northeast Football League at the Chile playing field in Georgetown yesterday. Kadeem Duncan scored 4 of the goals for Spring Village and Akram Edwards had 3, while Karim Grant converted for Bayaboo. The league will continue on Friday when Diamonds Village meets Owia Village in a Group B preliminary encounter, also being played at the Chile playing field in Georgetown. And with that, we wrap up our sports for this evening. We'll be right back to tie up our news broadcast.
Set for Life is back again. Your favorite game. Win house and land. SUV plus 50 grand. 50 and 25 grand. Second and third prize in your hand. Yeah. So play as much as you can. Monthly prizes to be won. Set for Life. A brand new house. Set for Life. A brand new car. Set for Life. $10 for a bet. Live your life with no regrets. Set for Life. Did your day done set? Set for Life. December 28th. Set for Life. Check the lotto machine. Get set for 2019. Set for Life. Live all of your dreams. Be a winner. Turn your own keys. Set for Life.
It's stylelicious here at Quartz Optical. The best in style and designs for your perfect frame. Converse, Ray-Bans, Kate Spade, Prada, and lots more. Buy any frames and lenses and get a chance to win $2,000 cash. Get it now and pay nothing for 60 days with ready finance. Only at Quartz Optical, the largest and fastest growing optical chain in the Caribbean. Visit our website at www.optical.com to book your appointment today. Offer ends November 24th, 2019.
And now we take a second look at the headlines for this evening. UE Vice Chancellor says SVG's seat on the UN Security Council places the country in a leading position to lobby on a range of global issues. Barbados Prime Minister wants more action on regional integration. Scientists discover first new HIV strain in nearly 2 decades. And in sports, Windies women suffer a 6-wicket thrashing in the final one-day international against India to extend their 2-year winless streak. On behalf of all of us here at SVG-TV, thanks for viewing. Remember, you can visit our Facebook page for a recap of the news and for daily headlines. And remember to tune in for SVG Television's News in 15 at 12:45 on weekdays. I'm Khalil Cato. Have a good evening.
The big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Once again, countdown has begun, and time is running out. Shop at Courts today and make this season even more epic with the latest in electronics, appliances, stylish furniture, and so much more. Only at Courts, bringing value home.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Get the best in TV entertainment with 139 channels, 26 in HD, and HBO included. Plus get 80 local Flow landline minutes to enjoy on evenings and weekends. All for $225 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.